Error, two heels in a face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels in a Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have imagine going through a buffet line at an express rate. That's what this episode is.
If there was a buffet line at a gas station.
Yes. You're talking, you're going, you're moving, you're getting a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Someone grabbed you a coffee, someone grabbed you a Gatorade from a gas station buffet line. No, it's
during your lunch break.
During your lunch break. It was meant to be a buffet line episode. There was many. It is internet, a little bit of that, which I have some ideas on. I mean, we could do fix in the future. It was a little bit of kids, right? He's a dad. That's not his fault. Our guest is a little craziness there.
Respectful of our guest is Robert Ego Anthony, and we wanted to be respectful of his time. While also having some connection issues or technical difficulties. Let's just say that.
So hopefully by the time you're hearing this, Chris has really done a great job editing. And we're going to do an express buffet line with Robert Ego Anthony. He really gives us his thoughts and his brain and the way he thinks in this episode. I really enjoyed it to the point where an hour flew by and I felt like we were talking for 20 minutes because I think his answers were really good. We touched on Storm Grayson, which we talked about last week. If you haven't listened to the episode, go do it. Before we get into the interview, Chris, how are you doing as a human being today?
Doing well. We actually, so to give the listeners a little bit of insight into our recording schedules, right? We planned this recording with Ego, and my power went out. So we couldn't record the day we planned on. And he was graceful enough to give us another date, and here we are. We recorded with him, and any hurdles that come our way, we have to figure it out, Charlie, and I think we're doing just fine.
I hope you don't mind me just jumping around the buffet line. I was just going to different questions based on I felt like what he was saying. It turned out to be an awesome interview still. And Chris, if you're ready, I think we can take us there.
Absolutely. So just again, full disclaimer that there might be some choppy parts. I'll do my best in editing once you're listening to this. Again, technical difficulties. And, at the end of the day, I think you're going to get a great episode. You're going to get some insight into his thought process when it comes to planning, not just a match, but a storyline.
Yes.
And very unique individual. And I had a super fun time just, having this time with him. So we'll just, going to go ahead and kick it off to the full episode.
All right.
Let's go.
Yo.
All right.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can.
Can you hear us?
Bro, as soon as you guys hit record, this whole thing just lagged out. You sounded like a bunch of robots on crack. I wasn't understanding anything going on. It kicked me out twice.
Okay.
What kind of setup do you guys got going on?
I mean, I can hear Chris. He's not lagging. I don't know. Was it an internet thing?
Bro, I'm a 40-year-old man. I got internet up for days. I got a 2-year-old screaming for her mother. We're on a thing called StreamYard. I never heard about it in my entire life. Don't listen. I podcast now too. Podding with Ego, available on Fridays as long as I have a guest or something to talk about. I'm over here just throwing shit up on iTunes, having fun. You guys have got over here with all these goddamn internet connections. Get your shit together, boys.
We'll try. I mean, it's this is a way to get the listeners and the viewers, a more in-depth connection with Ego. So
now
we got video. So
having trouble connecting. Everyone's gone. Now one person's back. Now there's two people back.
Oh my!
This is getting ridiculous.
Should we try Zoom? We could try Zoom.
We got a guitar player in one area. No, let's do this. We're gonna stick along with this. You're on StreamYard. We're doing this.
StreamYard.
Let's
go.
StreamYard
official. Well, welcome to the buffet line. Yes, we put these on YouTube. I know you have the fitness YouTube channel.
Hold on, wait. Wait. We're gonna talk about something else. Hold on.
Okay.
Number one, Robert Anthony, Egodisco Fantastico in some circles here. I do have a YouTube channel. The fitness thing went away because it got 0 views. Maybe like 20 people viewed the fitness stuff. People are not into fitness. So even though that the youtube.com/egofitness is the URL, just type in Robert Ego Anthony.
Yes.
I do Monday wrestling style vlogs every Monday, and then we go on from there. So we went past the YouTube fitness videos because people just didn't care. So we're doing more unboxings and vlogs and whatever's out there.
Yeah, I've been listening to Potting with Ego. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Many times on your episodes, you say you're not a technological person. No, but you do have a YouTube channel. Like, are you enjoying the aspect of the creation, the recording, and the uploading and all that?
So my right hand man, Xavier at Pro Wrestling Shoots.
Okay.
I got a MacBook Pro. I gave it to Xavier. He illegally downloaded Final Cut Pro. So Xavier illegally downloaded Final Cut Pro onto my computer.
Allegedly.
Then I went on YouTube illegally, 100% illegal. I didn't pay for it. We stole it. He took it and he gave it to me for free. $400 program for free. I went on YouTube and I searched a bunch of 10 and 12-year-olds to teach me how to do editing on my computer. I'm getting really, really good at it.
Okay.
And I do find joy in doing the basics, I believe, in this editing thing. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think you're able to learn still. I mean, in some areas, some areas, I feel like I'm technologically inept. That's why I have Chris. But yeah, it sounds like you've been diving in and doing some cool stuff. I have also heard on your podcast that I think at least the sentiment that I'm getting is you really enjoyed the mentoring side as well, like kind of running the Freelance Academy. So
I'm one of 3 trainers. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And I wanted to just check in to see how that has been thus far and like how because I know you were, I don't know if you were a trainer or had before, but now I feel like you kind of shifted more fully into that.
Yeah. So I took people under my wing as the years went on, but I never fully trained anyone until I got to freelance. Myself, Kylie Rae, and Isaiah Velasquez are the 3 trainers at the Freelance Academy. And once I jumped into that role, it's been very fulfilling. And I told those kids that my legacy these days are seeing them succeed. So that way it helps me out selfishly backstage if I want to take that career part of my life a little higher. So I'm at a point in my life where AEW is not going to have a 40-year-old Robert Anthony as world champion, but they might have a 25-year-old freelance student that I helped train as world champion, and that's something that I do want. I really do want that, and not many wrestling schools have that. A lot of wrestling schools have trainers that are still trying to live that dream. I'm very self-aware. I know that my days are numbered, and I'm trying to figure out what's next. And I think that is what's next, is helping the next generation. And once you figure that out, then you know that you're with the right person to help you, because they're not trying to stab you in the back at the same time.
Yeah. I want to, Chris, you mind if I jump around on this agenda? I know we prepared a buffet line, but I feel like Ego's answers are taking us different ways, and I'm just going to kind of roll with it to make the conversation a little bit more. I want to talk about some of your mentors, not some of your mentors, but some of the people you have mentored. So some of your trainees. Talk about working and training Chico, because we're a huge fan of Chico on this podcast. So like, how has that relationship grown?
Everyone's friend Chico. That's what we call him behind the scenes. At least I do, because he's everyone's friend. Chico does everything for everyone, and I feel he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for that. He does things for people out of the kindness of his heart. Sometimes I feel that it's a weakness of his because I don't want anyone to take advantage of him.
Okay.
But he has all the potential in the world because he's willing to learn and grow from a lot of different avenues in pro wrestling. I said that if Chico ever fell into the James Ellsworth role, he would have a job for life, managing a Carmella or doing that type of role because he would never screw it up the way other people would. To get noticed, because Chico is short, to get noticed, Chico needs to get in insane shape. Think ECW Taz. He needs to be that thick and like big, you know what I mean? Because right off the bat, anyone that's going to give him a job, the first thing you're going to notice is his height, which sucks, but that's the nature of the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Apparently height is a big topic in the world of wrestling these days, but that's just off the bat. It's an upper body business. It used to be a height business, but he needs to have something to combat that. And his charisma is already there. He needs to find a look. He needs to find a something that just captivates more than what he does now, right? But he listens. He's a great dude, and I personally hope that he is very successful.
Yeah. No, I think we agree with that sentiment. It's cool that he's seems to be gaining consistent momentum, and I feel like he has.
Yep.
He did a really good job. So he was in a manager role in the Monix versus Knicks blow off.
Yes.
Did you watch that? I thought he did a really good job in that match. Or did you get any feedback on or have any feedback for him in that regard?
I only watched a few things. I didn't watch many. I am very critical about different storylines and ideas and bookings because I think that's my forte. Like when I was running Berwyn and I'm doing the baseball shows now, I would have had Chico do something a little bit different. Because he needs more rope to create, but he needs promoters to, number one, take a chance on him, and number two, give him the room to create, right? So the Freelance Underground, from what I did watch him with Monix, it was just Chico being like stepped on and forced to do XYZ, blah blah blah. But I think that storyline's still going on. I don't know what the payoff is because I'm not behind the scenes there, but hopefully there's a payoff. And then when there is a payoff, hopefully there's a big run for him. You know what I mean? They got to give the kid the ball and let him create and do something fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, cool. So basically what I was asking is, who were those mentors for you as you were coming up? Were there any, or was it just you keeping your eyes open, mouth shut, and ears open?
Man, I was wild. So I definitely wasn't keeping my mouth shut. My mentors came late in life. So it wasn't until I was about 4 or 5 years in before I started getting people steering me in the right direction. Number one was Harley Race. When I went to Harley Race, he helped me steer me in the right direction. Ace Steel gave me a lot of positive feedback and things like that. But as far as when I got my shit together, was I signed developmental in 05 and end of 05 ish, around 06, and then when I got fired is when I started learning a lot of the lessons I should have known the past 5 years. You know what I mean? So like I learned lessons of like respect right off the bat, but I didn't learn what I'm teaching the kids now, which is a lot of the in-ring little things. I was never a politic or anything like that, but Harley Race was a main mentor of mine. Bill DeMont was a mentor of mine, and I just picked up a lot of things along the way. It was different when I started. Not many people. I had a home, but my home like shut down, and you leave your home and things like that. And a lot of people didn't want you to succeed, so you would get a lot of the bad advice, and you didn't know really what to take. So was a tough time in the early 2000s navigating this thing called pro wrestling, but I found whatever.
Yeah. That sounds unfortunate. It sucks that it's like that. I think I picked up some of that from listening to a few of your episodes on Potting with Ego too, about just how shitty things can be. It's good that it sounds like you're trying to reverse that for some and almost stop that trend with your mentoring. Obviously, assuming you're giving out the best advice that you can, which I believe you are. What is...
So here, I'll give you an example. Fuck it, stupid Joe Alonzo. Idiot Joe Alonzo, the first kid that I really decided I wanted to help. Okay. And I call him an idiot. I call him an idiot out of love because I love the kid. But I would tell him something and he would do the complete opposite of it. And I give him examples of why not to do something. And then maybe he would get it or things like that. So it wasn't until he lost everything until he started realizing that the things I was telling him were the things he needed to know. Right. And now he's on this big redemption story and this hopefully good comeback of his career, because a lot of the things that he did stupid when he was 19 to 20, 21 years old in that 3-year time span. So sometimes it takes people losing things to figure out who they are. And when you're really young, not just Joe, but anyone, when you're really, really, really young, and you feel that you're invincible, you're not going to listen to advice of someone that's way older than you because you don't respect them, right? A lot of young kids don't respect their elders. And it's not until they get a little bit older, until they get wiser. Like over at NWA, I had Billy Corgan and I are friends. And he told me, he goes, if you would have told me when I was 22 years old, making millions of dollars, to slow down and save your money and blah, 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 do this, he'd be like, I tell you, go fuck yourself because I'm 22 years old making millions of dollars. Who are you?
Yeah.
He goes, but now that I'm older, I realize what those people were telling me to do. Right. So it goes in any business, the music business, the wrestling business. Young kids have a hard time with authority or people telling them what not to do. Right. So it's my job to say, this is how I messed up. Don't make the same mistakes. And sometimes that clicks with people and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. It sounds like that you have been someone who has been receptive of your advice has been Storm. We had a whole hour, 12-minute podcast with him last week, which once again, to you, whoever's listening, the listener, I would go check that out because I thought he really opened up to us and like you could you could tell in some of the things he was saying, like it's almost like he's growing more confident, and he even more confident, I think, as the interview went on and talking to us, and like he's had some anxiety there, but it sounds like he's receptive to your advice. Would you say he's been receptive to your advice, and like how has it been mentoring him and watching him grow into this role?
Yeah, I try to give him as much advice as I can, and he takes it and he puts it in place. He just needs to, like you said, the confident part of it. He needs to do the things that he's not confident with more often.
Yeah,
he needs to do more public speaking. He needs to talk more in front of the camera. He needs to do, like I said to him, I go, you already know how to do a tackle, drop down, leapfrog, reverse fucking hurricanrana. Now I need you to start cutting promos. Because that's where he's lacking and he's afraid to. And I never got that part of life of wrestling because you hear a lot of people say stage fright, but I almost believe that didn't exist in pro wrestling because we want to talk on microphones. We want to get booed. We want to get cheered. So I never really met in the early 2000s, and I never met a wrestler that was afraid to talk in the mic or didn't want to do it a lot, right? Sometimes you had to like force us back in the day not to have mic time. Nowadays, it's pulling teeth to get people to do promos and things like that. They just want to wrestle. They don't want to talk. Okay. So a lot of this generation needs to work on that, and especially Storm, he needs to work on that. That's the only one area that he's lacking in because once he figures that out, that's going to be great for him.
Yeah.
Were you always a good promo? Like, were you always good
No.
on the mic, or you grew into the ego now?
I was the shits on the mic for almost 9 years. It's terrible.
Oh shit.
And it wasn't until I got fired from WWE and went to CZW was when I figured it out. When I started cutting promos at CZW, they let me do whatever I want and they let me like create, and that's when I got really good.
Nice.
Because I was terrible. But it wasn't until I had the I didn't care attitude and had some anger and had some things to talk about. That's when things got better.
Yeah. Was it? And I want to point out, if someone's listening and is like, all the things we said about Storm, he admitted last week. So we're not saying anything bad or anything that, like, we're not attacking him anyway. He admitted, he's like, that's why he came on the podcast. He's like, I want to do more speaking, so I'm on your podcast, etc.
No. So Frank, my relationship with Frank, man, sorry for that long delay. Frank is a shithead.
Wait, hold on 1 second before you get into it. I wanna, because you do a really good. I think your episode with him was great on Potting with Ego. The one thing, and I feel like you guys have a good dynamic. It's almost like a little bit of brotherly love and things like that. I'm curious because on that episode too, you talk about how there are some things that you feel like you're like kind of like a grizzled vet, or some things that you don't really like that some younger people are doing. And Frank is of the younger generation. So to me, it seems like you wouldn't want to help him or give him advice or like look out for him, like you say, have his back. My question is why? Why start taking a chance to stick your neck out for Frank the Clown? Like, it has paid off. We now see the value in him being on shows, but why to do that to start with?
So, quick story, I guess. Robert Anthony was getting stale at Freelance, and I needed something else to do. I didn't have much going on, so I met Frank at a show, and I had this weird idea that maybe I need a manager, and maybe I could use this kid as the manager. And Freelance would not let me use him for about 2 years. I begged for 2 years.
Yeah.
And eventually one day they were like, all right, let's roll with it. And I saw potential in it. I had a vision. And that's what I always tell Frank. I brought him in the business. If it wasn't for me, he'd still be sitting at his ass in the front row, doing nothing. And I saw Frank and I are doing now at Freelance. And that's why we butt heads so much, because it's my baby, I feel. The Frank and Robert Anthony duo in Freelance wrestling is what my vision was once I met him. The presentation of it, the camaraderie of it, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very protective of it. For the first up until that Kylie Rae match, I wouldn't let anyone touch Frank. Everyone wanted to beat up Frank. I said, no, you're not touching him. For almost 3 years, 2.5 years, we waited until Kylie Rae beat him up. That was the first time anyone ever beat up Frank. And I protected that, right? So when you ask me why Frank, it's not complicated in the form that I knew I was stale as a act in Freelance, just doing scramble matches, not doing much. And I knew I needed something different. I saw this kid. I knew he could talk. I knew people hated him, legitimately hated him. And I wanted to try something new. And luckily, they let me do it, but it took 2 years for them to even say yes.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense with the vision and everything. Hence
why I yell at him about stupid. I yell at his ass about Warrior, because every time his dumb shit goes to Warrior, he gets beat up, he gets jobbed out to people, and he's not protecting the thing that my vision. That's why I get mad at him. We have legit fights on the phone, Frank and I, and I legitimately get mad. Like when he broke his arm at Warrior, I was like, "You idiot!" None of that happens when I'm around. So he usually gets mad at me. He's like, "You're not letting me you're not that I'm holding him back, but he's like, you're stopping me from doing a lot more stuff. I go, but I'm stopping you from doing the stuff that's dangerous or burying
Mhm.
Sure.
you. And I said, and I gave him an example. I go, Frank, listen, in almost 3 years of freelance, you got hit by one person, Kylie Rae. In fucking 10 shows at Warrior, you got your balls burned off by Mick Foley. You got beat up by fucking David Arquette. You got thrown off the bleachers by Lance Archer. Joey Janela tombstoned you through a door. You got jumped off a goalpost on through a table. What's her face broke your arm. All this other stuff. And if that one show was supposed to happen, Rikishi was going to put his ass in his face. I go, you're just getting beat up. What's left? Who's going to stab you or shoot you next? So that's the argument we get in it, and that's why I protect them. And I said, listen, man, I'm trying to make you not get hurt, number one. Number two, I'm trying to make the act special. So then we get into fights about that. But now I'm off on a tangent. But go ahead.
No, that's great that you bring that up because I want your opinion on this because I think with us being around freelance, we've been around freelance for like 5 years, 6 years now, maybe. And we always felt like you were booked. And like, as far as I can remember, like you're always part of the roster in my mind. But I think then when you start teaming up with Frank, it felt like to me, it was an elevated level. And do you feel like it was that, like, would you use the word career rejuvenation, or would you just use like you have more to do and now you are on an elevated level with him? Because you've done some really cool shit since being with him.
That little shit put 10 more years on my career. And I was trying to get that over. Independent sports entertainers. He put 10 more years on my career because it added something. It added a new dynamic. It added something that no one else was doing at freelance. So once that got going and it got over, then it opened the doors to do more stuff, tell more different stories, or be fresh. Because if you look at the freelance show, it's scramble match to open the show, tag match, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's really doing like a story driven anything. And I fought to create a lot of that. Like, let's keep this momentum going. Let's do this. And luckily it's worked out. But yeah, it did rejuvenate my career. It gave me 10 more years to tell some more stories and do fun stuff. Yeah.
I want to talk about Chris, sorry if I'm cutting you off. I want to talk about the Kylie Rae match. And then I think we can maybe get into like your latest 2 double title run. But the Kylie Rae match, talk about telling stories. The Kylie Rae match had a ton of that, I think. There was a ton of viciousness on both sides. It's almost like it was a lot of viciousness at first for you towards Kylie, and then at the end, you were bleeding. Just talk about, I guess, that feud, why you think it worked so well, and how that came together.
That worked well because we didn't just announce Robert Anthony versus Kylie Rae. He did a one-hand tie behind the back. We built this whole thing to have a payoff and get people emotionally invested in it. We literally went out there as cowards and took advantage of her under masks. That was the start of it.
Yeah.
We did a 2-on-1 handicap match where I had my arm behind my back and Frank was my tag partner. And we were shitty on that. And then when we finally got to the third act in the play, people were so ready to see me get beat up and so ready to see Frank get beat up that it was one of the first, it was the first freelance wrestling show to legitimately sell out over a month in advance. And there was people sneaking in to get into that event because it was so packed. And I'm very proud of that because that's a story that we told. We just didn't announce a match graphic on Twitter. We gave that Logan Square audience a good guy, a bad guy, and a piece of shit manager that they wanted to see die. And we set it up to the point where they had so much hatred towards two individuals that they wanted to see their hero come out on the top. And when I laid out what that third act would be, that entire match, I remember the reaction I got from management. And again, a lot of it was my vision. Here's how this needs to look. Here's how this needs to go. Here's how we take them on this fucking emotional roller coaster. Because when you watch that match, you could pause it at different areas of that match, and it isn't just moves. It's visual storytelling. It's emotions in that shit. The way she sells her things. The way Kylie Rae is hitting me the first half of this match, and I am not registering a goddamn hit from her. This isn't a 50-50 match. This is a grown-ass man fucking saying, you can't hurt me, and laughing in her face. And that's getting the people. The first time she hits me on the outside of the ring, that place exploded. And when they saw that it wasn't hurting me, they got even more angry and even more angrier. And when I'm fucking throwing her around, they're getting even more angry. Let him fucking get his ass whooped. And now when I'm bleeding and I'm begging for forgiveness, that whole crowd is saying, fuck you. You don't deserve nothing. Kill him.
Yeah.
And that was like better than that. That's why there's 6 million views on that on YouTube. That's why that match will live. And I always talk about matches live and die the same day, right? I'm not going to bury Alex Zane, but I'm going to bury Alex Zane. Alex Zane does the fucking jump off of a balcony with a McTwist onto 17 guys. That lives for 12 hours, and it's going to die the next weekend until he does something that tops that, right? That was a quick flash in the pan, amazing moment for him. And again, I'm not burying him, but I'm telling you, I did what I can do emotionally where people are going to remember that and let that marinate and fucking, and it's a lost art that I'm trying to teach a lot of the kids in the school. It's not about you doing a double backflip. It's about how you get someone to feel at the end of that night. Right. And, and luckily I had a couple of those moments in my career. One of them was when John Moxley power bombs me through the glass window. That moment will never die. I get tagged in it at least once a month. People bring it to my attention. People remember it. Me getting power bombed through a glass window by John Moxley. And we built that moment up too. And you think about all the death matches around the world, my one bump lives forever because we took them on that emotional roller coaster that people loved. And the same thing with that Kylie Rae match. We took them on an emotional roller coaster with a great fucking superhero ending.
Yeah. I know you keep saying 6 mils. I checked it today. I think it's like 7.3.
7 fucking million.
I think it's not pretty
Please show me. Please show me an independent professional wrestling match with 7 million fucking views. Please show it to me.
I don't know.
Give me another one.
I don't know if it exists. I think you hit a great point on the head. Besides, Chris and I usually, so our slogan, if you will, is wrestling as a buffet. People like different parts of the buffet line. I think you hit it right on the head, which is Chris and I always talk about how much we love the storytelling, the long-term storytelling. People might watch wrestling just for that Alex Zane moment that makes them jump out of their seat. That's the part of the buffet line that they eat at. Chris and I are on the slow burn. It takes 3-5 matches to get to this point. That's usually what we gravitate towards. Not that we don't like, obviously Chris is a lucha connoisseur, and the lucha has a lot of those high spots. So we like shit like that too, but I think the most cathartic releases we get are the long-term storytelling. That's the part of the buffet line that we eat at. So that's why this started off as kind of a buffet line podcast, but I think some elements have been introduced, like the internet, potentially your lack of time with kids, which is fine. So we're just kind of continuing to riff here. But usually we break it down our interviews into the 3 segments, which is the buffet line. Chris, did you have anything you want to jump in with?
Yeah, so I would want to do a segue off of that, right? You threw in the lucha thing, and the first time I saw Ego performed was as Egotistico Fantastico. Can I get some backstory on that, on the character, how it was built, and why, built from Joliet, we get a luchador masked guy. And I'll tell you, I think the first time I saw you perform was at a Blitz show.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but it was a Blitz show for sure. And it was
Sure.
And it was, to me, it was like one of the first indie shows that I had gone to, and it did throw me off. I'm like, oh, this white guy under a mask, like, is it a one-off thing? But then I started learning more that Egotistico Fantastico is from Joliet. Blitz was running out of Joliet. You would get the big pop, but still you were a heel. So it was not clicking with me at first.
Sure. So I am half Mexican, so you call me just the white guy. Fucking.
I didn't
wild
say
card.
I didn't say just. I just said a.
You said this white guy in the mask. Listen, listen. My father 100% Hispanic. My wife 100% Hispanic. Okay, so just because my mom's on the Caucasian side, you don't need to throw me in the fucking thing.
Chris.
Okay,
Chris, why don't you give those white or half white guys a break, please? Jeez.
Listen, I've been dealing with these disrespect my entire life. My father has told me since I was 16 years old that I'm the world's tallest Mexican, and that's what he says. That's what he says on me. I'm 6'4" on a good day, and he goes, son, you're the world's tallest Mexican. Embrace it. And even though I got the pale skin, I'm telling you right now, I'm not just a white guy in a mask. So I'm not going to let you. I'm letting you know right now. I'm not disrespecting the my Mexican brotherhoods or anything like that. You can't just. My phone wasn't having it. My phone wasn't having that disrespect. Bullshit. Okay. So I'll go quick before we get kicked out again. Sandman from ECW was asked, "Why do you come through the crowd?" And and this is me as a kid listening to this, and he said because no one else was doing it, and he needed to find something that no one else was doing it to stand out. So I was a backyard wrestler, had a bunch of different names under the backyard, and I ended up getting the original Egotistico Fantastico mask. And I would goof around, and the name Egotistico Fantastico came from me and my friend sitting on a trampoline, and one guy said, he goes, "You have the biggest ego I know." So when you're wearing the mask, because we'd always do different gimmicks in our backyard fed. He goes, when you wear your mask, because we're trying to think of the name for the mask gimmick that I was going to do. You said you should be Egotistico something, and the last name should be something like luchadorish, like Fantastico. So then Egotistico Fantastico was born.
That's awesome.
I became a pro wrestler, training to be a pro wrestler. They asked me, what gimmick do I want to do? And then I thought back to that Sandman quote. And believe it or not, nobody in the Midwest had 2001. There was no masked wrestlers, at least young guys. It was a foreign concept. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be Egotistico Fantastico. That's going to be my gimmick. And I was training at PCW. And like, if there was a masked wrestler at that time, it was some mid 30-year-old whoever, and they weren't in their 20s. They weren't doing high flying stuff. So I stood out, and as soon as I put the mask on, Egotistico Fantastico, that first year I got a ton of bookings because I filled a need that nobody had. There was no 19-year-old young guy doing flips and a mask. And that's what they wanted, right? So it came out of necessity. It came out of luck. It came out of what was not happening in the area. And then you fast forward 5 years later, all the guys start wearing lucha masks, and it became not special anymore. But I made it as special as I could and made it as unique as I could, like from the hometown, Mexico City, Joliet.
Yes.
That's where Disco Fantasco's from. So that was different. The weight of Disco Fantasco was 3,000 pounds or something crazy. There was always something off that made you laugh or made you think, like, what is this, right? Because out of necessity, no one was doing it. Everyone was from Chicago, Illinois, 200 pounds. Chicago, Illinois. And here's Disco Fantasco, the name you won't forget because it's so out there, weighing in at 3,000 pounds from Mexico City, Joliet. Right off the bat, now your ears peaked up because it's something new and something different, right? So I did that, and that's where it came from. It's you know what? I'll give you, you know what? Since I'm sitting down here, I'll show you the
yes,
I have it because I'm cleaning out everything. There's the original. There's the original one. Right there.
Oh, nice.
The original. Yeah, the original Disco Fantasco mask had a horn, which is broken right now. Blue with the little zebra stripes on it. No top as always, lace in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the original. Inside was this plush, like carpet material. Look at that fucking disgusting.
Was that hot? Was that like sweaty? Did that make you sweaty?
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible. It's like a blanket. That's what it feels like in there right now. It feels like a goddamn blanket. No, me and that mask went all over the place, man. Me and CM Punk wrestled twice in that mask.
That's awesome.
I went to Vancouver, Canada in that mask. I went everywhere in that mask. It helped me.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that that you did that. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I love that happened because in our Twitter profile it says we embrace being different, and like that was the whole thing. Really, sure. The whole theme of your story was like, how can I be different? What can I do to be different? So I think we love that part that you had that theme. Because the internet is working against us here, I want to we're gonna do two more things. I want to ask about. Just give me from start to finish all your thoughts on your most recent double title run, because I really enjoyed it. I thought, and I don't know if it was because of your work with Kylie that elevated you. Not that you, I felt like you could always, because you've wrestled for the freelance belt in the past. So I think Chris and I always felt like you could be in that position. But a double title run is something that I don't think has ever been done. I know the mid-card title is newer, but still. So just from start to finish, your thoughts on that run, and then I think we'll do one more thing and then wrap it up from there.
Sure. The double title run is special to me because I did something that no one is doing. And we made sure that I defended both titles on the same show and made sure that they were two full matches. I said, no, if we're going to do this, we got to do it the right way. I want two full fucking matches, and because nobody's doing it, wrestling 30 minutes a night or more, and with tough opponents, not throwaway opponents. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a freelance student in the first one, and then Anthony Henry in the second one. It was Brian Keith and someone else, and this person and this person. So I that was my big thing was, if you're going to make me wrestle twice, let's put some effort into it so it's actually special.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be a cop-out. I didn't want it to be like, yeah, you wrestled twice, but did you really wrestle that hard? Or did you really put any work into it? I wanted it to be something fun. And I'm very proud of it because I was able to pull that off. I think the only time I didn't wrestle twice was when I lost the title to Brian Keith. But originally, I believe I was supposed to wrestle twice, but something happened to where I wasn't going to, and it got pushed back. But every match was supposed to be, every show was supposed to be a double thing, and I'm super proud of it because again, it's something no one else has done, and I did it to the best that I can do, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not Alex Zane, I'm not Blake Christensen, I'm not Dante Martin. I can't perform in that way. I used to, right? I used to be able to do that stuff, but I can't anymore. And I was able to perform in a way that is my own, emotional wise, and hopefully people had a good time with it. And I'm not trying to think of words here. I'm trying to say is like when I mention all those guys and the things that they could do are really impressive. I can't compete with that. But what I can compete with is putting on a match that is emotionally charged. Because think about it, all my matches are a bunch of body slams, maybe a powerbomb and a DVD. And other than that, I'm just talking a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So if I figure out a way to do 2 matches a night, doing a powerbomb, a bunch of body slams, and a DVD, and make you not know that I'm just doing body slams, powerbomb, and DVD, then maybe I used my brain and tricked you for those few months. So so I'm very proud that I was able to do that without it looking like a bunch of reruns.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought it was an extremely dominant title run. I think Chris would say the same.
It definitely gave Freelance some life at a critical point, where it was needed, right? It needed that jolt, and I think you and Frank came in and really kind of put that, whether the saying is like you put the company on your back or you just took your matches to a different level that allowed the fans to experience something different in that show that made us want to come back the next show.
Yeah, it happened. I think the timing of it was
thing
great.
that I wanted you guys
Go ahead. Sorry.
The thing I wanted you guys to want. Yeah, no worries. The thing I wanted you guys to wonder as fans was, when is he going to lose it? And I need to be there when he does. So, so that was the emotional roller coaster I wanted the fans to go on, because I didn't just want to do one match a night and just defend the legacy title or just defend the world title, because not saying it's predictable, but sometimes you could predict, oh, he's definitely winning against this guy, or maybe he might lose against this person. When you do a double run like this and you're very dominant in it, and with opponents that you think could win either way, it was, when is he going to lose it? And I need to be there when that happens. So I think that's why that reaction with Brian Keith was so big, was they were sick and tired of the shit and the cheating and all that kind of stuff. And then when he finally won, people were really into it. So again, emotional roller coaster as we go along.
Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense. And I think Chris's point of the timing too is like we were kind of coming out of the pandemic. And so I think there's some promotions that kind of coming out of this still haven't built back up to where they were before. And I think this title run for sure definitely helped Freelance get back up to like where they were. And I think even there was a sellout too. And like, I think Freelance was selling out pretty consistently before pandemic hit. And now we had one after too. So yeah. So I think you elevated to try to get them back to like make up all that ground you lost because no one could wrestle for like a year and a half. So
look at this next show. It's sold out over a month in advance. This Mick Foley show is sold out a month in advance. So again, emotional. We're on full cylinders now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think Chris, so usually when we end a buffet line, we do something called word association. I'm not sure if you're familiar. We're gonna try it right now. See if the internet cooperates. And we'll say we do rapid fire. Chris will say a word or a person, like a letter or like a group of words, and you give one word answers. So like an example would be like Chris would say Zello Pro, and then the person would say green. That's their answer. That's the one we try to get people on. I don't think Zello Pro's in your lineup, spoiler, in your lineup right now. And that's not a dig at Zello Pro. That's just that's just a joke we like to do. We love Zello Pro. Very pro Zello podcast. But good. Chris is going to hit you with 10 right now. So Chris, whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, the question is, Eagle, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The first one is John Moxley.
Brother.
Nice.
Freelance Wrestling.
Home.
CCW.
Family.
Potting with Ego.
Oh, man. Fun.
Nice.
Freelance Management.
Oh, man. Really? Why? No, you know too much. You know too much. No. Oh, hold on. You know too much. Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's with quotations because I knew you and Frank kept saying freelance management.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's
the answer.
Oh, no.
Chico Suave.
You all know too much. You know too much. Only one word answer?
Yep.
Yes.
Smile.
I like that.
Joliet, Illinois.
Dirty.
AEW.
No, I want to change that. Okay. No, I want to change that. Casino. I want to change that to casino.
Casino. Okay.
Nice.
Casino.
AEW.
AEW?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ooh. Grateful.
Frank the Clown.
Is shithead one word?
Yeah, I think
we can make an exception for Frank.
I honestly think it is.
Egotistical Fantastical.
Yeah, go shithead. Goofy.
There you go. You made it through all 10.
All right. That was really good. I think you did a good job.
You fucked me up on that management one. I want to know who snitched to you guys. Oh,
no. It was your episode with Frank where you kept saying like you just get the word freelance management was said like 15 times in that episode. So I was like, let's throw that one in there.
It's an inside joke. I thought you guys knew too much. It's an inside joke. Freelance management. Oh no.
No, we might not know the joke. I just know that you guys said it a lot, so I figured it would throw you off, which is, I think it stopped you for a second. So we might not be. I don't think we're in on the joke.
You're not. Okay.
And no. Yeah, no. So the internet was working. I don't know how an hour just went by, but thank you for your time. This has been a fun episode. Chris is gonna have to work some magic with the editing. We're gonna make it work. Obviously, the internet is something that is to a large extent not controllable. But I guess before we go or we wrap up, is there anything you have the floor? If there's anything you'd like to say, ask, or just plug.
Yeah. So number one, hit subscribe over on the YouTube. Robert Ego Anthony in the search bar. Potting with Ego out every Friday, available wherever your podcasts are available. I believe. I don't know. All my stuff comes from Apple Music and Spotify. Those are the two biggest platforms people kind of listen to. And I'm hiccuping. That's pretty much about it. Thank you guys. You're going to teach me how to do this thing and fix this internet issue because it might have been on my end. I use StreamYard. I think StreamYard's the shits, and maybe we should have stuck to the Zoom thing. I blame this whole bullshit StreamYard. But it looks good so far. Appreciate you guys. Maybe I'll have you guys on mine, and then I'll get to throw you guys some weird questions.
Yeah, no, we would love that, and we would be honored, I think. and I think keep doing it because I've enjoyed it so far. I enjoyed the one with your wife too, just to hear how supportive she is of everything. So I thought that was just a very unique episode. So keep doing that. Keep doing your thing.
So tomorrow's episode is with Freelance Management James.
James cameoing and making an appearance.
That'll be a good. There's gonna be some dirt on that one, maybe from him. He likes. Sometimes I feel like he likes to say some things.
Bro, there's a lot of burial in that goddamn episode. The teaser trailer is awesome for it. I'm gonna release tomorrow. The teaser trailer, he talks about making $6,000 at the collective, and I freak the fuck out. I'm like, how? How did you make $6,000? So good.
Looking forward to that.
Good. I was like, you made $6,000 at the Indiana collective. How? Explain to me how. And I go off on him. And I was like, I need a goddamn raise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But so definitely, if you're listening, subscribe to it. But just thank you for your time, and we'll see you at an upcoming show. And make sure we say hello for sure.
For sure,
definitely.
we'll definitely add.
All right,
thank you. We'll definitely add links to the description below, so you'll be able to find Ego everywhere else. As far as Two Heels and a Face goes, we are Two Heels and a Face, number 2 Heels and a Face. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next show.
Is that James?
No, it's not James. It's just a guy giving the middle finger.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. A good note to end on.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right.